You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Rays, your daily podcast covering everything Tampa Bay Rays, from game analysis to player interviews. We have got you covered with all the latest news and insights. My name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
bringing you expert analysis and passionate discussions about our beloved Rays.
Whether you're a diehard Rays fan who vividly remembers the Longos game in 162,
or you remember the early Devil Rays days of Wade Boggs or Carl Crawford,
we are here to break down every play, every trade, and every milestone. In fact, this is our 6th season covering the Rays daily, and for the first 5, they've gone to the playoffs.
So grab your favorite Rays gear, settle in, and subscribe to our Locked On Rays YouTube channel and other podcast platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays.
And we should tell you that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more as playoffs wind down in the NBA. We need more sports. But this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone, every day, all summer long. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started. Kevin, we have a new idea for this show. It's called Topic Tuesday.
That is correct. Yes, and I feel like this is something we're going to try out. We also want to get some listener insights and comments on what they think of it, but primarily can be used for off days, recording this on a Monday going into Tuesday, when there's not a game, where we can dive deep into a particular Rays topic that you, the listeners, would like us to research, for example.
Exactly. So, I mean, it could be something like what has been the biggest change from 2023 to 2024 for Randy Arozarena?
Right.
And then we would do that research and then present it to the audience. Or is Alex Jackson's tenure with the Rays the worst offensive production we have ever seen from a Rays catcher? The answer is a probable yes. But we would research that and give you the actual numbers. By the way, he's at a negative 1.0 F4 as of today.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't pretty. So today we're going to get started with a topic sent to us from Chase Ross.
Yes.
OG listener who wanted us to talk about the Rays farm system. How about that?
And it's very timely too, because Fangraphs just recently released their top prospects list. Of course, there's a lot of other outlets who have their own respective lists, but this is particularly recent and fresh because it came out last week. So they dive deep into a lot of players, some, maybe a lot of names that you haven't heard of. Overall, 30,000 foot view. They love the Rays farm system and continue to regard it as one of the best in the game. And before we get into some of the nitty gritty of, some names on the list who surprised us, names that we maybe weren't privy of, some possible call-ups and opening day candidates, do just want to run through the top 10 list here that was put forth by that website. 1, Junior Caminero. 2, Carson Williams. 3, Xavier Isaac. 4, Curtis Mead. Where's he been? 5, Braden Taylor. 6, Cooper Kinney. 7, Braylor Guerrero. 8, Gary Gill Hill. 9, Yoniel Currit. And 10, Dominic Keegan. My first notable here is there's a couple names on this list that I weren't familiar with. The other thing is that I guess the Rays are drafting a little bit better of late over the last couple seasons with their, first round pick, compensation pick, second round pick, whatever it may be, because Williams, Isaac, Taylor, and Kinney were all very high draft picks within the last couple years. So luckily, at least they have that going for them.
That should help. That should That's nice because as we know, I think we had a talk last week about this, the drafts. In the last 10 years, the first round picks haven't been exactly, greatly successful, except for I think
Right.
Josh Lowe, Liberatore gave us Randy Rosarena,
Correct.
but a lot of like coulda, woulda, shouldas on that list. So I wanted to tell you a name that surprised me. And I think we both agree it's Gary Gill Hill, who is number 8 on that top 10. He's a 2022 draft, overall 194 pick. So he's got a 197 ERA right now, a 302 FIP, 68 2/3 innings pitched, 72 Ks. He's got a fastball that sits at 92-95, which actually has improved from the 90 to 92 that he used to set in last year. He's touched 97. He's got slider and also works with a little changeup. The thing is, the arm swing is a little long, they said, so maybe that's something that to watch out for in his development. But the command should improve with time. And they're saying this is a guy that could be a top 100 prospect by next year.
Wow.
Gary Gill Hill, besides the amazing name, I was really surprised. He's 19 years old only and is already making really big strides. I was excited to learn more about this guy.
Yeah, I honestly had never heard of him, and he looks like a steal for the Rays, i.e. Taj Bradley a couple of years ago when he was taken in the 5th round, because a lot of guys that are drafted in the 1st round, maybe 2nd round, get top prospect status or are on the radar, but 6th round picks, not too very often. The fact that he's risen to this pedigree as just a teenager, because let's also be real, this is not a guy that will be called up in 24, 25, maybe not even 26. His ETA is 27 right now, but he might be that next developmental find that the Rays were able to pinpoint and said, hey, this is a guy we really like. He's got a lot of work to do because he is young, he is raw, he is unpolished. Let's try to throw a little bit more money at him to prevent him from going to college. And what's funny is, like, it's not a situation where he was going to go to a LSU or a Texas A&M or a big ACC or SEC school. He was going to Fairleigh Dickinson. Last I checked, I don't think Fairleigh Dickinson is, some baseball powerhouse. Now, maybe he was very close and lived near that school and there was some sort of tie-in there. But yeah, it's really cool that this could be a guy that the Rays really mold and cultivate to their liking. And I think in doing some extended reading on him, he added about 20 pounds of muscle over the offseason, and from that was able to have a more consistent mechanical delivery while also, as you would imagine, upping his fastball. So instead of topping out at 93, he's averaging 94 and touching 97, 98.
Exactly. And guess what? We just said he's 19. He's going to be 20 very soon.
Yes.
You're going to keep growing, son. I mean,
oh yeah.
So, and he's an athletic guy. So that evolution from sitting 90, 92 to now sitting 92, 95, that's going to be improving with time and how he develops into his own body. Like I was just really first like the name, and it popped into the brain there. And then when you hear more about him and you read about it, you get enthused. And that's what these top 50, top 49, top whatever prospect hugging lists do. They make you hopeful, especially in a season where maybe you don't have as much to look forward to on the day-to-day basis. This is a guy that if you want to get into following what's happening down on the farm, he's early enough that you can check his development and hopefully track him, like Kevin says, into his ETA of being a Rays player in 2026, 2027.
And here's the really cool thing, because as the prospect genre in industry has grown, you can find a lot of available highlights of these guys. And I believe you may be able to get a MILB TV subscription for like $20 a month, and you could watch all levels, listen to all levels of the game. But it's not, a dark art anymore. You can actually really get a good view of some of what these dudes provide. So Gary Gilhill, he's a guy to watch out. We may be 40 by the time he gets called up, but he looks like he could be that. Here's the thing: the Rays, while in recent years, besides the names that I mentioned, they had struggled with their top draft picks, swing and a miss on many occasions, but it's those mid-round draft picks that they've really done damage with for one reason or another. So just wanted to note that. All right, we have more coming up, but first we have to tell you this.
We all love sports. We all love them so much we never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down in the NBA, we get fewer games, and baseball is now in the middle of the season. FanDuel lets you keep sports going whenever you want. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. Just like us, Locked On Races Daily. Well, they're helping you daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.
Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports Today. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't-miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. All right, Ulises, moving on, and I'm with you. Gary Gilhill was a name that absolutely surprised me, and I was like, never heard of this guy. Wow, he may be something special in the years to come. Now, maybe a player or two or three who knows, maybe not be as good as Gary Gilhill someday, but will certainly be called up sooner than him. Who are some guys in 2024, possible 2024 call-ups from this Fangraphs top 49, top 50 prospects list?
Okay, so let's take the obvious names out first.
Okay.
Curtis Mead. I can definitely see him getting another call-up this year.
Yes.
After being sent down, he has actually done really well in AAA. Junior Caminero, we know he's hurt, but we all want to see him, and we will probably see him. Right. If the rehab goes well, we will see him. No matter if it's called mid-August or September, we will see him. So let's take those two guys out of the equation. My fun pick, because those were two, those are the obvious ones. Those are the obvious ones. So if my podium is made up of two locks and then one fun pick, this is my fun pick. And my fun pick is a great name too, Joe Rock. Now, for those that don't know Joe Rock, they're like, okay, why would he be called up? And for those that know Joe Rock, you probably are saying, what the hell? Why Joe Rock? Well, I'll explain why. Joe Rock is a guy who, although has a 4.58 ERA in 70 innings plus this season, he is a perfect bulk option spot starter type guy. Why? Think of Cooper Criswell.
Okay.
His role in 2023. Hey, we have a doubleheader. We need a spot starter. Who do we got in AAA? Who can just take the ball? And I think sometimes those guys are not the ones that are really high up on the prospect list. Sometimes you just need a body. I think Joe Rock is that guy for the Rays. And I think he will see time with the Rays. Maybe a one start, maybe a long relief type thing, an Erasmo type role that he can fulfill. I did find something pretty interesting. Infield fly ball rate, he has it at 17%.
Wow.
He gets a ton. He gets a ton of infield fly balls. So that was pretty cool. So not a lot of like, oh, because he's amazing. I just feel like in every year there's a spot starter, there's a bulk guy who you need to take the ball. And I think Joe Rock is going to be that guy. Nothing fancy, just a guy who's available.
We'll see who has a higher career WAR when it's all said and done, Joe Rock or Greg Jones, the guy that was traded to acquire Mr. Rock. Now, it would have been cool to see Rock in a Rockies uniform because of the name tie-in there, but he's got to be ecstatic that he no longer has to deal with that farm system and deal with the implications of pitching in Coors Field. So just by that, he's got to be in a pretty fun mood there. Look, teams love to craft lefties. They love their lefties for the obvious reasons. And him being a 6'6" dude with huge extension and the low arm slot, I think that adds some deception to his game, and maybe the Rays are able to figure something out with him. I think, part of the reason, from what I read of him having a little bit of an inflated ERA there, is he gets undone by, one or two hitters or one bad inning. It's the one bad inning that really, puts him down the mark there. But if you can bring him in for, hopefully he can carry his role for 2 1/3, 3 innings, then you might have something there.
It's the Charlie Morton effect. You are awesome for 5, but you're gonna get hit up in 1 inning. That's all. That's all right. But yeah, that's a name I thought that could be a spot starter. Do you have another name?
Yes, I want to throw out a guy that you've been high on since he was drafted, Ian Seymour. Ian Seymour, who is presently ranked as the number 12 prospect in the system. I know he's only at AA right now, but I think he's at 25, 26 years old. So it could be a very quick succession and elevation. Hey, couple outings at AAA, and then you're good to go to make the jump. And we're seeing that a lot more often, where AA is the testing ground. Then we just kind of hold you in AAA for a little bit until you're ready to go. But he has been nothing short of dominant this season. 88 2/3 innings pitched. He has 97 strikeouts, a .8 WHIP, and a 2.13 ERA. And what does he have in common with Joe Rock? He is a lefty. And he is a little bit different. I would say Rock is more smooth with his delivery, while Ian Seymour is extremely violent. Just like Shane Baz, it looks like he's playing toss when with his dad. Ian Seymour looks like he's giving every single inch of what he has to get the ball over the plate. Just an enormous head whack and crazy finish. But I also think that also plays into some deception and quirkiness with him. But I know we dealt with some injury issues in the past, but he seems like a guy that has performed at just about every level, and not sure what else there is for him to prove before he gets an opportunity. This year, he's got a 29% strikeout rate and a career best 5% walk rate. Is he going to be the next Shane McClanahan? No, but a multi-inning option, possible spot starter. That's what I could see out of him going forward.
I agree with you. I don't know why he's still at AA. What else does he have to prove?
Yeah.
I mean, a .8 WHIP in 88 2/3 innings. This guy is mowing the competition down. And like you said, a career best 5% walk rate. Like, he's got it. He's got AA. He's got AA in 16 games. So I would be very surprised if he doesn't touch AAA before the season is over. I would be very, very surprised. But like you said, I think he could be a good option for a bulk type role, or a, hey, doubleheader, we need a guy to get a call up, especially if he gets put in AAA.
Right.
I think that would definitely cement his options of getting called up, because I don't think they would go to AA for for that type of guy. If they need one, they would just go to AAA. But yeah, Seymour, nothing else to prove in AA. I like what he has to do. I like what he's done. Let's hope he can go to AAA this year.
All right, it is time to tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. So all you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. So get in on the action daily with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. And you need to pay attention to this. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code LOCKEDONMLB, LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy.
Here at Locked On Rays, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for the Rays. Whether it's the offseason, the draft, the team has just gotten swept, it doesn't matter. It's year-round. And you know what else is year-round? Collection season. So just because tax season is over, it doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming for you for unfiled taxes. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals and tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. So again, they have 14 years of experience, an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. So whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. And be sure to mention Locked On Rays at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount off their services. Again, call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon today.
Now, as far as possible opening day 2025 candidates, besides the obvious names of Mead, Caminero, so on and so forth, any dark horses or anybody else that you want to keep an eye on to see if they can make the leap and perhaps make an impact going into opening day next year, April 2025?
I mean, I think if you look at that list, Carson Williams is the most intriguing, famous name.
Yeah,
because he hasn't gotten a call up yet. AAA is relatively new. If he ends the season on a high note, can he be at a discussion to take that spot at shortstop? Because we know what we have seen from Caballero is not maybe the greatest defensively at short. Taylor Walls, we know the black abyss that is his offensive production already with 4 years of sample size.
Yeah.
So really, like, yeah, the major league options are there, but it's not like there can wow you. Like, you could possibly see what Carson Williams has for a whole season. Now, will they do that? Would they like to do that and lose a possible extra year of control by getting him that early in opening day? I don't think they like that.
Right.
But at some point, you got to do something like that. And maybe he is that player that makes them go, hey, let's see what do you have. Like, you know, the Yankees did that with Volpe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last year from the beginning, like, no, he's our guy. Now, I know that he gets overinflated and overrated because he just wears pinstripes. He's still a solid player, and he's going to be better this year than he was last year just because of the brush that he had with major league players. So
Right.
Can that be done with Carson? I mean, I think that would be the most interesting one for me.
I am going to say this to generate a reaction and get clicks, and I'm going to be very hot takey here, maybe taking a page out of Evan Klosky's book. I am banging the drum for Chandler Simpson.
Ooh.
we talk about what else is there to prove for Ian Seymour, who I noted his crazy, violent head movement when he pitches. He also does like a bunch of toe taps as well to make it a little bit different, and sometimes has a very full windup as well. But Chandler Simpson, he is a steals machine would be an understatement. He is the numbers right now in Double-A Montgomery. He is batting .353 with 58 stolen bases. If I'm correct, I think he stole 94 bags in the minors last year across multiple levels, something
That's
like
awesome.
that. He is a guy, and maybe it is a little bit too soon for 2025, but to me, I have center fielder of the future penciled in for him. And I know that Fangraphs doesn't quite have him as high as maybe he should. I believe number 17 on the list, high teens, low teens, if you will. But, and I know he has no power whatsoever. The joke is that on the 2080 scale, he's got 90 speed and 10 power. He is never, ever going to hit a home run outside of the park. But the bat to ball skills, being a slap hitter, being a bunt artist, finding a way to get on base in a very fun, exciting fashion, plus, you know, the defensive element that he provides. For me, I think it would just be fun to have a throwback player of his ilk on the roster. And
we haven't had that player.
No.
We haven't had that player in forever. I agree with you. That would be really, really fun because like it just adds another dynamic. Just like Yandy Diaz adds another dynamic when he's going well with the contact and the not striking out. You know, like this type of player is really fun, dynamic, and I think I would be very down to see that.
There's a lot of guys who don't have pop that have success in the big leagues. Luis Arias was one, Juan Pierre, Luis Castillo. I think on the low end, his floor is Billy Hamilton, Terrence Gore. He is going to be in the big leagues for, I think, a significant period of time just because of that speed skill set. And here's the thing. I really don't care if he can't hit a home run. He actually has one home run this season. It was an inside the Parker. But he gets on base, it's automatically a double. It could be a triple. He can score on a pop out, basically. And the added pressure for the defense and the pitching staff, you basically have to focus as much or more of your attention on him as the batter just because of what he can do and how lethal he is with swiping it back time and time again. And I know it's, you know, Double-A, clips of him in high A, you know, defenses in the bigs are more refined and he might not be able to get away with what he's able to get away with, but so many times where he slides head first, the ball scoots away from whoever's covering second, he gets to third, you know, he turns one bag into two. Yeah.
It's an added element that now you have to take care of. And this is the last thing I'll say. He's hitting 353 in Double-A. Let's drop it down 100 points, 50 per league. If he is a major league hitter at 240, 250, and has that speed, you're in. Yeah. You're in, and I would love to see that. So I like that pick, and hopefully we see one of these guys with a Rays uniform very, very soon.
Yeah, for sure. I think that with him, that it helps that there's limited shifts now, and I'd be curious to see, you know, defense probably playing in a little bit more to take the slap hitting element away and seeing that, hey, he's not going to hit the ball very far in the outfield. So we're just going to play as in as we can on him. But I feel like he's got a good enough bat control and compact enough swing that he can sort of play pickle with the ball and put it wherever he wants to. So just wanted to throw that out there. If you get a chance, watch some highlights and some action of Chandler Simpson because he is a game-changing talent. One other thing I'll note is on this Fangraphs list, it underscores the volatility of prospects year to year. One year, a guy can be a top 10 prospect. The next year, they totally fly off the handle, off the radar, whether that's related to injuries or a hitting prospect making contact with higher level pitching and strikeout rates. But I'm not going to run through all the rankings, what they were last year compared to this year, but I'm just going to throw out some names, have you all look them up and see how much of a change there is year in, year out. Carlos Colmenares, Cole Wilcox, Mason Hour, Mason Montgomery, Greg Jones, traded, but he was the number 6 prospect in 2023, and Cameron Meisner. Now, on the flip side of that, you have guys that were like a Gary Gill Hill or somebody else that, are nowhere to be found, and then they elevate themselves. But it just shows you that a lot of changes can happen over the course of 8 to 12 months.
100%. And that's why, we've set the prospect hugging thing for as long as this podcast has been going. But yeah, the volatility might be even higher than what happens in a major league bullpen. And that one's already volatile enough. So
yes,
this is just a good point to keep in mind, so that you don't think, well, if we trade this guy, then we're going to get, for sure major leaguers. Well, not necessarily.
Yes, that is true. All right. Chase, thank you for that question or that topic of, hey, dive deep into the farm system a little bit. That's what we tried to do. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you have another topic that you want us to get into the weeds with and more or less spend the whole episode on, let us know. Hit it up, email lockedonrays@gmail.com, or hit it up in the YouTube comments there. We'll take all of that and more. In the meantime, we do plan to have a mailbag episode on Wednesdays, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.